All right, welcome back, everybody. CCHA Mason Cup Championship game press conference. We now have Minnesota State here with head coach Mike Hastings and seniors Ryan Sandlin and Andy Carroll. Before we begin with questions, I'd like to have Coach give us a brief statement on his team entering the championship game today, or tomorrow, excuse me.
Man, thanks for being here, whether you're in the building or online. We're excited. I think you're seeing two hockey teams that are playing really good hockey at a really important time of the year. It's nice that we're going to be in our own building. I believe just walking over here, I see on Twitter, I think it's sold out. So I think that says a lot about the atmosphere that's going to be available come Saturday. And so, we're both trying to play for our potential third season, which is the NCAA tournament, which is a goal, I'm sure, with both teams when you enter the season. And so we're going to try and find a way to win a championship here in our own building on Saturday. And I know Northern's going to do everything that they can do to make sure that they continue their season. So I think it's going to be an incredible battle, and we're excited that it's happening here in Mankato.
Thanks, Coach. We're going to open up to questions. We have one from Kevin Dudley on Zoom. Kevin, go ahead.
This can maybe be for Ryan or Andy. Coach kind of touched on it, but just the sellout. I heard that unofficially at this point it's the quickest sellout in program history, the quickest game to sellout. Talk about just the fan support, and I know that part of the reason you guys come here is to play in atmospheres like you're going to have tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'd say we have the best fans in the country, and I think that proves it. The quick sellout shows how much they're behind us, how much they wrap their arms around us and lift us up when we need them, and they're going to be there for us tomorrow night, and we're going to have to give them a reason to cheer, and we're excited about the opportunity to be able to play in front of them and hopefully win a championship.
Carson?
Coach, you talked about both teams playing really good hockey right now. Yeah, I think it's just interesting to look at the numbers. I mean, you guys are 14-2-1 since the turn of the calendar year. The Wildcats are 9-1 in their last 10. Just with both hot streaks really just coming into this game, what's the key just to making sure you guys, weather the storm and just play your own game?
Well, I think first of all, you've got two teams that are more worried about themselves than their opponents. Both teams want to get to the game as quick as possible. I have to believe that, Grant sat up here and the other players sat up here and said, we've got to be disciplined. We've got to be better on the special teams than the other team. We've got to get off to a good start. All the coach speak and all the team speak that you can have. But at the end of the day, you've got to go out and ride the wave on the peak as much as you can and stay out of the valley as much as you can and manage the game. And our group has been battle tested. These two guys up here have played in some pretty important hockey games this season. And we're hoping to draw off that experience. But at the end of the day, that puck's going to be dropped, and we've got to go out and do a better job of putting it in their net than they're doing against us. And, whatever it takes to get done on Saturday, we've got to be capable and willing to do. And I think both teams are going to go out with that mentality from the drop of the puck.
Kevin?
For Andy, I think one of the most interesting storylines on paper might be the matchup between your power play and their penalty kill. Talked a lot about your power play, but just with their penalty kill, they talked about really taking pride in improving that this year. That's, I think, shown in the numbers. They've got one of the top penalty kills in the country. I think they're fifth. Maybe you've seen them a lot for years. What do you see improved on their penalty kill? What's going to make that unit tough to score on?
Yeah, I mean they've definitely improved. In past years, we've kind of had their number a little bit, and this year, obviously, like you said, they're fifth in the country. They're obviously doing something right, and yeah, they just have developed a little bit different, better ways to angle guys, push guys, and get guys into kind of uncomfortable positions, and something we've discussed, and we'll be ready for them on Saturday.
Questions for Coach or either player? We have Kevin again? Yeah, go ahead.
For Coach, Jake Livingstone gets CCHA Defenseman of the Year for a second straight year. I think a lot of us saw that coming, but David Celia getting Forward of the Year, just maybe I know he's a guy who hasn't been in your program as long as some others. You know, he got here late before last season. For him to go, you know, from where he was coming in late, having a good year last year, then having the year he's had this year, maybe just speak on his season and him getting that compliment.
Yeah, I'm proud of him. When players go into your program or come into your program, almost all of them are looking for one thing, and it's just opportunity. And last year when David decided to get into the portal prior to coming here, the opportunity was pretty spelled out. It was more of a third-line role. It was more of a penalty killer, hoping a guy that could come in and win faceoffs for us. And you look at him right now, I think he's in the top 3 in goal scoring in the country. He has led us definitely over this second half in consistency. He's been a guy that has still not forgotten his roots, and when he was a third-line center a year ago, he's still one of the first guys that goes over the boards penalty killing. Probably leads us consistently in minutes played. And I just think he's put a lot of work into his detail for preparation so that when he had the opportunity, he was ready for it. So I think he's playing with an awful lot of confidence. He's also playing with 2 really good hockey players right now, one to my left, Ryan Sandelin, and Fitzgerald. They've got a little bit of chemistry. They've worked together on the power play. I think he's a selfless hockey player. And guys want to play with those types of players. So really proud of what he's put together so far. And he's getting what he deserves because he's put a lot of work into it.
Rob Beer?
It's for Coach Hastings. Mike, how do you describe the ramp up to this game? I know last week you were antsy to get the puck on the ice and get going. How do you describe this week and the ramp up to this game with your club?
Well, for us, it's not a lot different because we were playing for our next opportunity last weekend. If we don't win last weekend, our season's over. And so, you know, one thing that I've laid at these guys' feet, as well as our leadership group, from when we came back from Christmas break, this is kind of up to them. And ask them to focus on their dailies and what they get to control. They've done a really good job of that over the second half. That's why we've been able to string together the second half that we have. And it's really been no different. These guys have paid attention to their details, taking care of their bodies, recovering, and getting prepared for Saturday night. And we've had a really good week. So I know that we're not going to walk out there with a lead. But I do think the guys have put the work in to be prepared so that we can go out and have an opportunity to be successful as a group.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Maybe for either of the players, you guys have played a lot of these big conference tournament games, but as a bubble team, I think that's kind of a new experience. In terms of the different pairwise scenarios, is that something that you guys want to know, don't want to know, look at, intentionally try to avoid, just don't think about it at all? How do you kind of handle that, or do you pay any attention at all?
I'll take a quote out of my dad's book, just win, and that's all you got to worry about, win and you're in. So, I mean, all the other scenarios don't really matter to us. We get to control our destiny, and that's been the exciting part here over the second half is we've had control over what we can control, and that's us every single day. And, it's no different coming into this weekend. And, I think we're just really looking forward to the opportunity to, win a championship and punch our ticket to the big dance here. So, not really too worried about the other pairwise scenarios.
Questions for our group here. Kevin, do you have another one?
Yeah, one more.
Sure.
For Andy, we've talked before about them and how they're unique, I think, to some of the other teams in your league in terms of how quickly they can do damage, putting the puck in the net, what they can do in transition. How big will it be just not giving them anything? Because, they'll, I think, get some on their own.
Yeah, they're one of the best teams in transition that we'll see all year, and we've addressed that, and we know we need to be detailed and in all three zones to limit their opportunities. And it's something that we're definitely going to pride ourselves in come game time, is definitely limiting those opportunities for them to be able to generate and get out and turn into a track meet. Be good on the forecheck and just responsible in all three zones, and just continue to play the game that has gotten us to this point.
Any other questions out there for coach or either player? All right. Thank you, Coach Hastings.
Thanks, Barry.
Ryan,
Thanks.
Andy.
Thanks.
We'll have Commissioner Don Lucia up in a couple minutes here.